A couple sitting inside their car was targeted by a motorcyclist carrying a delivery backpack, who approached their vehicle and pointed a firearm while attempting to open the door. Before the couple could react, an off-duty municipal guard positioned nearby noticed the situation and intervened within seconds. The guard fired toward the attacker's legs, immediately preventing the assault from progressing. The suspect was subdued at the scene and received medical attention before being placed under police custody. Authorities are now investigating the incident and reviewing nearby security footage. In the middle of the day, on a quiet residential street, a brazen robbery erupted without warning. Two criminals closed in on a woman as she wheeled her motorbike out of her home, threatening her and demanding she hand over her belongings. They thought the empty street worked in their favor, but they were wrong. An off-duty police officer passing by spotted the danger instantly. Without hesitation, he drew his firearm and moved in to confront the robbers head-on. Gunshots cracked through the neighborhood. One suspect was hit and subdued on the spot. The other panicked and bolted, fleeing for his life. Most importantly, the victim remained safe. In a startling turn of events, a police officer simply waiting for a ride suddenly found himself the target of an unexpected robbery attempt. The attacker, thinking he'd spotted an easy score, fixated on the officer's gold ring. Believing the moment was perfect, he lunged in and tried to rip it off, convinced he could snatch it before anyone reacted. But his golden opportunity vanished in an instant. With lightning-fast reflexes, the officer drew his weapon and fought back in self-defense, pinning the suspect to the ground before he could escape. A tense robbery unfolded at a lottery shop when two criminals broke inside to steal cash. While one suspect acted as a lookout, his accomplice emptied the register, all captured clearly on security cameras. But outside, a vigilant resident quietly noticed the suspicious activity and secretly alerted a nearby police patrol. Their plan collapsed instantly. Police officers rushed to the scene, apprehending one suspect at the door before he could escape. The second robber attempted to flee, but after a short chase, officers managed to capture him as well. Both men were taken into custody and now await legal proceedings. The incident stands as a powerful example of the community's alertness and the police force's swift response in stopping crime before it spreads further. A violent street robbery erupted in São Paulo when a woman was suddenly ambushed while walking with a companion. Footage from the Smart Sampa surveillance network captured the moment the attacker rushed in, striking the victim and placing her in a chokehold in an attempt to steal her belongings. The assault escalated within seconds, unfolding in full view of the city's monitoring system. But technology intervened before the attacker could escape. An automated alert from the Smart Sampa network triggered a rapid response, sending traffic agents, CT, and the City Civil Guard, GCM, directly to the scene. Officers arrived quickly and pulled the suspect away from the woman, stopping the attack and preventing him from fleeing with her possessions. Authorities later praised both the efficiency of the smart Sampa camera system and the swift action of responding officers, crediting them with preventing the situation from becoming far more serious. A dramatic robbery attempt unfolded at a jewelry store in El Monte, California, when a man dressed in black and wearing a Donald Trump mask stormed inside. Before entering, he sprayed a man outside with bear pepper spray, then rushed into the shop and began smashing the display cases with a hammer. As the suspect struck the showcases, the family who owns the store quickly united to stop him. Despite being hit by the powerful spray, multiple family members confronted the intruder, wrestling him to the ground and preventing him from escaping. The struggle ended with the robber being pinned down and captured right inside the store. The family held him until police arrived moments later. A rapid smash-and-grab robbery occurred at the LA Tech Repair store in Reseda, where a group of suspects used hammers to break display cases and steal devices. During the incident, the store owner and the intruders exchanged pepper spray as the confrontation unfolded. The repeated break-ins have heightened concerns among local business owners, who say the incidents reflect a growing sense of insecurity and increasingly bold theft activity in the area. A dramatic confrontation rocked the Catamito sector of San Bernardo, Chile, on Wednesday night. A detective from the Investigations Police, PDI, was quietly refueling his vehicle when a car carrying 4 men rolled up beside him. In an instant, 3 suspects leapt out, weapons drawn, shouting threats as they tried to rob him. What they didn't realize was that their supposed victim was an armed PDI officer. In a split-second reaction, the detective pulled his service weapon and fired with unwavering precision. The gas station erupted into chaos as gunfire echoed across the forecourt. Within moments, all 3 armed suspects were hit, collapsing to the ground and unable to continue the attack. As the dust settled, the officer immediately called for backup from carabineros and alerted gas station staff, ensuring the wounded assailants received urgent medical attention. They were quickly transported to nearby hospitals under police custody. A dramatic robbery attempt unfolded at a pharmacy in São Luís, Brazil, but ended just as quickly as it began, thanks to the rapid response of military police. Security cameras captured the tense moment when 2 armed men burst into the store, threatening employees and a customer while attempting to carry out the heist. For several seconds, fear gripped the room. Then everything changed. Military police officers stormed into the pharmacy with no hesitation, forcing the robbers into an immediate surrender before they could harm anyone or escape. Following the intervention, officers arrested 3 suspects, all of whom already had prior robbery records. Authorities also seized crucial evidence at the scene, ensuring a solid case moving forward. A security video, reportedly from Brazil, has gone viral after capturing the moment a petite woman bravely fought back against a motorcyclist attempting to snatch her purse. The incident highlights the impact of confidence and basic self-defense techniques. While size and strength can influence the outcome of a confrontation, experts note that determination, awareness, and quick reactions often become the deciding factors, especially when dealing with criminals who purposely target those they assume to be vulnerable. A crime spree unfolded on the streets of São Paulo when 6 individuals on 3 motorcycles carried out a series of bold thefts. Their first target, Mot Ong Ku Lon Tuoi, managed to get away before they turned to another resident, taking his backpack and phone. Moments later, they targeted an elderly woman, causing her to fall to the ground. The situation shifted when a motorist in a Jeep Renegade intervened. In a dramatic turn, the driver used the vehicle to stop the group, scattering them across the street and pursuing one of the fleeing suspects. During the chase, the suspect discarded a stolen backpack, and inside, police later found his personal cell phone. Authorities are continuing to investigate the case. A dramatic attempted motorcycle robbery was captured on video, showing the moment a victim, despite being armed, was forced to run for safety. The situation quickly shifted when an anonymous bystander intervened, confronting the thief and helping the victim recover the stolen vehicle. In the early hours of the morning, 2 burglars attempted an illegal break-in at a condominium in Praia Grande, Brazil, targeting a motorcycle parked inside the complex. But their plan unraveled almost instantly. Thanks to the building's state-of-the-art security system, equipped with surveillance cameras, instant alarms, and even facial recognition technology, the intruders were detected within seconds. Alerts were immediately sent to both the building manager and local police. Although the suspects managed to wheel the motorcycle toward the gate, the blaring alarms had already mobilized the entire area. Moments later, the building manager and responding officers arrived, forcing the thieves to abandon the bike and flee in panic. Their escape didn't last long. Both suspects, one with a lengthy criminal record and the other a minor, were quickly tracked down and apprehended. A couple had just parked their car when danger suddenly charged toward them. A motorcyclist accelerating straight at the woman, ready to snatch her belongings. What the thief never expected was that her husband had already sensed the threat. In a single, explosive moment, he drew his firearm and fired before the assailant could make a move. One shot was all it took. The attempted robbery was stopped instantly, collapsing before it even began. A split-second reaction, and justice delivered just as fast. São Paulo, Brazil. Security cameras captured a chaotic scene after a motorcyclist was ambushed by 2 armed suspects in a sudden street robbery attempt. According to the footage, the robbers became suspicious when they noticed a bulge under the victim's jacket, fearing it might be a hidden weapon. In an unexpected twist, the object turned out to be nothing more than a birthday present. As the suspects attempted to flee, the situation quickly unraveled. One of the men lost control of a large motorcycle, crashing to the ground and dropping his firearm. The victim seized the moment, picking up the weapon and struggling with the fallen suspect. During the scuffle, the robber was shot in the leg, bringing the attempted escape to an immediate halt. Injured and overwhelmed, he pleaded for help. The victim chose not to escalate further and held his distance until police arrived. Authorities are reviewing the surveillance footage as part of the ongoing investigation. Security cameras captured the tense moment when 2 robbers attempted to steal from a delivery driver around 11:30 a.m. on a busy street. The unsuspecting driver was suddenly approached by the pair, who tried to corner him. But before they could complete the robbery, plainclothes officers from the Citizen Security Secretariat moved in swiftly. A tense, heart-pounding confrontation erupted on a quiet street in Brazil when Douglas, an ordinary husband, was forced into an extraordinary fight for his wife's life. Security cameras captured the chilling moment an armed robber approached the couple, firing a warning shot that echoed through the neighborhood. Instead of freezing in fear, Douglas exploded into action. He leapt out of his old combi van with nothing but a baseball bat, the only thing standing between his wife, Priscilla, and a gunman ready to pull the trigger. With raw adrenaline driving him, Douglas charged straight at the attacker. The impact was so brutal that the bat snapped in half, but he kept fighting. In a chaotic struggle, he managed to overpower the gunman, wrench the weapon from his hands, and send the would-be robber running for his life. Security footage from a lottery store recorded a daring robbery unfolding in real time. Two criminals burst into the shop, one in a black shirt acting as lookout, while the other, dressed in white, swept up cash from the counter with lightning speed. But what they didn't count on was a sharp-eyed passerby. Without hesitation, he quietly approached a nearby police patrol car and reported the crime happening inside. Within seconds, officers stormed the store. One suspect was taken down immediately, while the other fled in panic. A short pursuit followed, ending with both men apprehended and the robbery foiled. Peruvian intelligence police have arrested 3 suspects believed to be part of a notorious criminal group known for stealing from passengers on public transportation. The takedown occurred just moments after the suspects robbed several bus passengers of their mobile phones, a crime fully recorded by security cameras. As the trio attempted to escape in a taxi, officers moved in and intercepted the vehicle. During the operation, authorities seized 5 stolen mobile phones and ammunition, strengthening the case against the suspects. Police later confirmed that all 3 had extensive criminal histories, including prior charges for aggravated theft and fraud. Two armed robbers entered a store, using knives and firearms to intimidate the owner while demanding cash. Fearing for his safety, the shopkeeper handed over the money, unaware that help was moments away. In a sudden turn of events, police officers arrived at remarkable speed, catching the suspects completely off guard. With no route for escape and officers closing in, the pair had no choice but to surrender immediately. Authorities are now reviewing the case and commending the swift response that prevented the situation from escalating further. A tense incident unfolded on a São Paulo street when a couple out for a nighttime walk was approached by a man posing as a motorboy, a motorcycle delivery driver. Unaware that his intended target was an off-duty police officer, the suspect displayed a weapon and demanded valuables. The officer quickly reacted, leading to a brief confrontation that caused the suspect to retreat on his motorcycle. The officer sustained a minor injury during the encounter, but remained in control of the situation. Hours later, police located the suspect at a clinic, where he had sought treatment for a leg injury linked to the incident. He was taken into custody, and authorities are continuing their investigation. Two thieves thought they had picked the perfect moment. With no one in sight, they moved in to steal a parked motorbike, fast, quiet, and seemingly effortless. But in an instant, everything changed. Out of nowhere, a fearless woman burst into the scene like a bolt of lightning. Without a second's hesitation, she grabbed one of the thieves just as he tried to escape, yanking him down with such force that he crashed onto the pavement, dragging his partner with him. Within seconds, their smooth getaway unraveled into complete chaos. A man was reversing his car into his garage when a white vehicle suddenly pulled up behind him. Two robbers jumped out and sprinted inside, hoping to snatch the car before the automatic doors could close. But within seconds, their perfect plan turned into a disaster. As the garage doors continued sliding down, the thieves panicked, realizing they were trapping themselves inside with no escape route. In a frenzy, they scrambled back out and bolted toward their getaway car. The attempted robbery ended as quickly as it began, leaving behind nothing but embarrassment and a very confused getaway driver. A quiet afternoon at a transaction office was abruptly interrupted when a masked man entered and threatened staff with a firearm, demanding phones, cash, and jewelry. As the suspect moved deeper into the office, the on-duty security guard reacted instantly, firing in self-defense. The gunfire sent the robber scrambling toward the exit in an attempt to flee. However, before he could escape, one of the customers inside the office intervened, tackling the gunman against the wall and knocking the weapon from his hands. Other customers quickly joined in, helping restrain the suspect until authorities arrived. Police later confirmed that the swift response from both the security guard and the customers prevented further harm and brought the attempted robbery to a swift end. A highly unusual incident in São Paulo has drawn widespread attention after a man managed to disarm an armed motorcycle robber during a tense confrontation. But instead of escaping or using the weapon to protect himself, the victim ended up in a reverse chase, eventually returning the firearm to the suspect following a brief negotiation. Security experts and witnesses expressed disbelief at the irrational decision, warning that any interaction or resistance against armed criminals carries an extremely high risk of death. They stressed that returning the weapon not only endangered the victim's life, but also enabled the assailant to potentially commit further crimes. Security cameras captured the moment an attempted robbery unfolded in Greater São Paulo. Two men on a motorcycle stopped next to a parked HB20 sedan just as a woman entered the passenger seat. Believing the situation to be an easy opportunity, one of the suspects approached the vehicle. However, the plan collapsed immediately. As the suspect neared the car, shots were fired from inside. The individuals in the vehicle were off-duty police officers on their way to work, and they responded as soon as they recognized the threat. Two armed robbers stormed into a farm supply store, waving their guns and shouting for cash and anything else they could steal. Customers and staff froze as the criminals tried to seize control of the room, their aggression turning an ordinary day into a scene of chaos. As the robbers pressed their demands inside the store, police closed in. In a decisive, perfectly timed move, officers burst in and caught the pair mid-crime, ending the ordeal in seconds. Both suspects were arrested on the spot, their attempted robbery crushed before anyone was hurt. Two men believed they had pulled off the perfect getaway after stealing a motorbike, but their victory was short-lived. Witnesses in the area saw the theft unfold and immediately jumped into action. Without hesitation, several residents took off after the fleeing suspects, chasing them through the streets in a tense pursuit. Their determination paid off. The thieves were caught red-handed, restrained on the spot, and promptly handed over to police officers. A shocking scene unfolded in São Paulo when two armed suspects attacked a man on the sidewalk before speeding away on their motorcycle in search of another victim. But their escape and their crime spree didn't last long. A passing motorist witnessed the assault and made a split-second decision to intervene. Accelerating toward the fleeing suspects, the driver rammed the motorcycle and pinned both men against a wall, bringing them down instantly. The bold maneuver stopped the robbers in their tracks, ending the violent incident before anyone else could be harmed. A shoplifter attempted a quick getaway from a supermarket, sprinting toward the parking lot with stolen items in hand. But the store employee didn't bother with a dramatic chase. Instead, he calmly walked up, retrieved the stolen box without resistance, and turned away as if it were just another part of his shift. A quiet evening at a restaurant in Osasco, Brazil, was abruptly interrupted when a man dressed as a delivery worker attempted an armed robbery. Investigators said the suspect was wearing a bulletproof vest under his jacket and began threatening diners, not realizing that one of the customers was an off-duty police officer. The officer reacted immediately, drawing his service weapon and exchanging gunfire with the suspect inside the restaurant. The confrontation prompted diners to take cover as the situation unfolded within seconds. After the incident, police inspected the suspect and found 12 wedding rings in his possession, suggesting his involvement in a series of earlier robberies in the region. Authorities are now working to connect the recovered items to reported victims. A quiet night turned chaotic when a group of intruders climbed over the front gate of a home, attempting to break in under the cover of darkness. Before the thieves could get anywhere near the house, the homeowner's loyal pack of dogs sprang into action. Their loud, continuous barking surrounded the intruders and immediately alerted the entire neighborhood. Despite the overwhelming noise, the suspects continued trying to force their way through. But the dogs stood their ground, creating enough pressure and confusion to stall the break-in. Within moments, the homeowner rushed outside, alerted by the commotion. Working together with his vigilant dogs, he managed to scare off the would-be burglars, sending them fleeing into the night. Authorities say the incident is a reminder of how community awareness and alert pets can play a crucial role in preventing residential crimes. A routine cash transfer nearly spiraled into disaster when a bank security guard was ambushed while transporting money from an armored truck to an ATM. According to surveillance footage, 3 suspects had been hiding inside a white vehicle nearby, quietly observing and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The instant the guard lifted the money bag, the trio launched their attack, rushing him in a sudden, coordinated burst. But the guard was quicker than expected. Within seconds, he took cover behind a parked car, drew his weapon, and returned fire. The sharp crack of gunshots sent the assailants into disarray, forcing them to abandon their plan and flee in panic. A chilling kidnapping attempt rattled the Porvenir area of Puerto Cortez when a young schoolgirl was suddenly ambushed on her morning walk to class. The suspect blocked her path with a vehicle and lunged toward her, trying to drag her inside. But the girl fought back. In a burst of courage and instinct, she broke free from the attacker's grip and sprinted into a nearby house, finding safety before the situation could turn deadly. The suspect's escape didn't last long. A car crash connected to the case gave police a crucial lead, allowing officers to track him down and arrest him swiftly in Colonia La Roca. An early morning break-in at an industrial complex was stopped quickly thanks to the facility's security system. At 5:26 a.m., surveillance cameras detected a trespasser moving inside the restricted area. Security operators immediately notified police, prompting the deployment of 2 patrol units that surrounded the site within minutes. A careful and coordinated search followed. Officers soon located the suspect and carried out a swift arrest without further incident. Authorities confirmed that the individual will face charges related to trespassing and attempted theft, with legal penalties expected. A woman had just arrived home and stopped her car in front of the gate when a red vehicle sped toward her. 2 suspects jumped out and quickly approached, attempting to carry out a robbery. One of them, holding a weapon, shouted, "Get out of the car! Hand over the keys!" Frightened and startled, the woman froze. At that critical moment, her husband stepped outside, immediately recognizing the threat. He confronted the suspects with firm determination, signaling that he was ready to protect his family. In the early hours of the morning, while the neighborhood was still asleep, 3 intruders emerged from the shadows and began a carefully planned break-in at a local restaurant. Armed with professional tools, including bolt cutters, a metal saw, and heavy sledgehammers, the trio targeted the restaurant's reinforced front door. The quiet street was soon filled with the crack of hammer blows and the sharp buzz of metal being cut as sparks scattered across the pavement. Despite the difficulty, the suspects worked relentlessly until the steel door finally gave way. Once inside, they moved quickly, ransacking the establishment for cash, equipment, and valuables. Drawers were yanked open, items tossed aside, and the restaurant was left in disarray. Believing the area to be deserted, the thieves assumed their operation had gone unnoticed. But they were wrong. The moment the door was breached, a silent alarm transmitted an alert to law enforcement. Within minutes, multiple patrol units responded, speeding into the area and surrounding the block. Sirens pierced the night as red and blue lights illuminated the street.